Since childhood, Neymar's life has been filled with challenges. In the heart of the poor neighborhoods of Sao Paulo, where resources were scarce and hopes seemed as distant as the stars, his small ball was his only possession. Everyone knew him for his special talent, but no one knew how much effort it would take to go from those dusty streets to the peaks of world football. He broke the record for being the youngest goal scorer in the Brazilian league and quickly became one of the best in the world. But his journey was never smooth. Serious injuries grounded him several times, so much so that they even sidelined him from the World Cup. But Neymar never gave up. Every time he fell, he rose with an iron will, running and fighting again. The heavy shadow of the media and scandals always accompanied him. Harsh criticism, intense cases, and words that cut deep. Some saw him as selfish, others considered his playing style theatrical. But behind all the drama, there was a man with deep emotions, sometimes worn out by the pressures of life. But Neymar was always in love with football. His love for the game and the ball was so immense that every time he stepped onto the field, he remembered that this love had carried him through all the hardships. He's not just a player, he's a symbol of hope and effort. Neymar's private life was always controversial. Relationships, parties, and his luxurious lifestyle were constantly under the media's microscope. But few know that, amid all this noise, Neymar has often experienced loneliness and the pressure of mental strain. His family was always by his side, especially his father, who was his coach and main motivator. But even with this family around, the pressures and expectations were overwhelming, pressures that made him tougher and stronger. Neymar knows well that to improve, he must strive every day, not just on the field, but in his personal life as well. He never stopped learning, and now he is one of the highest paid and most recognizable sports figures in the world. And perhaps few know that behind the scenes, he helps many children and young people in need, giving them hope and trying to make the world a little better. Neymar is not just a player, he is a living story. The story of a boy who, from the heart of hardship and pain, became a star who has inspired millions and shown that nothing is impossible. Family was always a safe haven for Neymar, especially his father, who was once a football coach and was known as his biggest supporter and guide. However, even within this family, there was intense pressure and high expectations. Pressures that often left him on the brink of a collapse, but each time he returned to the field even stronger. Neymar knew well that success doesn't come overnight. Every day, in every practice and match, he sought to improve, not just in technique and physical strength, but in mental and personal maturity. This perseverance not only made him one of the most expensive players in history, but also an icon for millions of fans worldwide. But Neymar wasn't just thinking about himself. Having gone through hardship himself, he has always tried to help children and young people who are in situations like his. Through both public and private support, he strives to make the world a better place for them, to give them hope and show them that anyone can achieve their dreams with effort. Neymar's life is full of different shades, moments of joy and success, but also bitterness and despair. Yet, this complex mix is what makes him a true human being and his story a great source for inspiration. Neymar is more than just a footballer. He's a symbol of perseverance and hope. The story of a boy from the dusty streets of Sao Paulo who became one of the greatest football stars in the world. But Neymar's life was always under scrutiny, and controversies were never far behind. His romantic relationships, lively parties, and lavish lifestyle often became media fodder. Many accused him of showboating and playing theatrically, but fewer know that behind this glamorous exterior, Neymar has often experienced loneliness and felt crushed by immense psychological pressure. He's the same boy who came from the poor neighborhoods, so the heavy burden of fame and expectation has sometimes been unbearable for him. The media and fans sometimes forget that Neymar is human, someone who makes mistakes, someone who gets tired and feels hopeless. But what sets him apart is that he never allowed these hardships to estray him from his path. Every time he fell, he rose and came back stronger. Maybe that's why millions still love him and draw inspiration from him. Neymar is deeply connected to his family. His father, who has been his constant support and coach, has played a significant role in his life. His close relationship with his family has kept Neymar grounded amidst the chaos of the football world. reminding him of where he came from. Besides football and its controversies, Neymar has another side, a kind and compassionate side. He has repeatedly helped underprivileged children in silence and away from the media's eye. He has worked to save others from the hardships he faced himself in childhood. This lesser-known aspect of Neymar's character completes the picture of him as a person. Neymar is one of the wealthiest footballers in the world. His net worth is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. From astronomical contracts with clubs like Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, and Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, to heavy advertising revenues with brands like Nike, Hama, Red Bull, Gillette, Beats, and more. He's not just a star on the football field, but also a shining star in the world of business. Neymar knew well that fame is not limited to good gameplay. He built his personal brand, an image of a successful, attractive, and different young man that many young people around the world wanted to emulate. Luxurious homes, expensive cars, private jet travels, appearances at international fashion shows, and extravagant parties are part of Neymar's lifestyle, a lifestyle that has kept him in the public eye, but also made him the target of harsh criticism. Some accuse him of extravagance, showboating, and distancing himself from the authentic world of football. But what is often overlooked is that he is the same boy who once couldn't afford a pair of shoes. Now that he has reached the top, perhaps this lifestyle is more of a celebration of all those days when no one believed in him. But money and fame don't always bring happiness. Neymar's personal life has been full of ups and downs. His romantic relationships has always been under media's scrutiny, from high-profile relationships with models and actresses to situations that sometimes turn into rumors or crises. Some of these relationships became media stories, while others ended quietly, but all of them revealed one thing. Neymar, despite his wealth and power, is still a human being, someone who seeks love, peace, and stability. He is a loving father to his son, Davi Luka, a boy he had when Neymar was just 19 years old. His relationship with Davi is one of the lesser seen but deeper aspects of his life. Every time he speaks about Davi, his tone changes. There is no longer a star, just a father who wants his son to live a better life than he did. Despite the parties, luxury, and glamorous life, Neymar has often said that, in quiet moments at night, he faces deep questions with himself. Am I really happy? Was all of this worth it? Am I still the same simple boy from my neighborhood? These moments of reflection are a hidden part of a superstar's life, an aspect that is rarely seen but exists. The psychological pressure, endless expectations, rumors, overlooked merits, and exaggerated mistakes. These are all the costs Neymar pays for living at the top of the world football. And despite all this, he's still the same cheerful young man with his usual stubble and special attire, who, when the ball touches his feet, forgets everything. On the field, he's still the real Neymar, pure, energetic, and free, just as he has always been. When Neymar moved to Paris Saint-Germain in 2017 for a record-breaking £222 million, the football world was shaken. This transfer was not just a huge deal, but a symbol of the growing power of wealthy Middle Eastern clubs and a turning point in football's commercial world. He became the most expensive player in history, but with this transfer came rising expectations. Neymar was no longer just a player, but a massive asset that had to deliver. In Paris, Neymar's life was a blend of luxury, football, and of course, constant drama. He resided in one of the city's poshest areas, a lavish home with all the amenities, a pool, a gym, green spaces, and even a room dedicated to video games. Expensive cars, private jet trips, and glamorous parties once again brought him to the media's attention. However, during this time, one of the toughest chapters of his professional career unfolded. Constant injuries. He was sidelined multiple times when the team needed him the most. The media ruthlessly labeled Neymar as a fragile, saying he was no longer a fearless player he was at Barcelona. Criticism escalated. Some accused him of focusing too much on his personal life and losing his professional focus. Even small mistakes were blown out of proportion to create juicy headlines. The media always has two edges. On one hand, they lifted Neymar to the sky and made him a global superstar, but on the other hand, They were the first to make heavy and humiliating headlines with the smallest slip-ups. On social media, he was often the victim of rushed judgments, gossip, and character assassinations. No mistake went unnoticed, and no moment of his life truly belonged to him. Despite all this, Neymar had brilliant moments in Paris, stunning goals, masterful passes, and coordination with Mbappe and Messi, who later joined the team, proved that he was still the brilliant player as long as he remained fit and focused. But after years of pressure, doubt, and exhaustion, in 2023, Neymar made a controversial decision, joining Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. For many, this transfer marked the end of an era. Some said he went for the money, but there was a deeper truth. Neymar needed peace, a place far from the heavy pressures of Europe. In Saudi Arabia, he became a true star, not just in football, but in culture, economics, and media. He had access to extraordinary facilities, astronomical wages, a lavish home, VIP services, and even full control over many matters off the pitch. But perhaps what mattered more to him was the opportunity to rebuild his spirit. Saudi Arabia became a place for Neymar to breathe, away from the constant media pressures. He wanted to enjoy the game again, not just play it under stress. There, just like always, Neymar did not deviate from his main mission, helping needy children, engaging in charity work, and striving to inspire others. He even organized programs in some of the deprived regions of Saudi Arabia, which did not receive much media attention. But that did not matter to him. Neymar's life, although seemingly full of luxury and fame, is, at its core, a combination of loneliness, pressure, and difficult choices. He stands at the intersection of multiple worlds: football, business, media, and his personal life. In each of them, he must fight. And perhaps his greatest victory is that he has not given up. He's still a young man with a radiant smile, with his ever-present stubble and unique clothes, who, when the ball touches his feet, forgets everything. On the pitch, he's still a real Neymar, pure, energetic, and free, just as he has always been.